Welcome back to the Plant Powered Collective podcast. When we hear the word nutrition, most people immediately think about food on the plate. In its traditional definition, nutrition is the process of consuming, absorbing, and utilizing nutrients from food to fuel repair and maintain the body for health and growth. And of course, that matters deeply. What we eat influences how we feel, how we age, how we think, and how we move through the world. But here at Plant Powered Collective, I often say that nutrition doesn't just happen on the plate. Nutrition also happens around the plate. Yes, the nutrients from food nourish the body, but there are also nutrients for the mind, the soul, that comes from experiences surrounding our food in our homes, connection, creativity, environment, memory, and joy. My name is Lori Walensky. I am the founder and integrative nutrition coach at Plant Powered Collective, and I will share something personal with you. These conversations that I have with guests on this podcast are incredibly nourishing to me. They feed my soul, my mind, my emotions, and my intellect. I truly love meeting and talking with amazing people who are creating meaningful things in the world and sharing their stories. Because when we hear how others are building, creating, and living with intention, it expands our own thinking about what is possible. Today's conversation with Tina Smagala beautifully demonstrates this idea. Tina is the owner of Sea Love Candle Bar and Boutique at Coconut Point in Estero, Florida, where people gather to create custom scented candles together. It is a place where clean, intentional products meet creativity, connection, and community. What Tina is creating is a reminder that nourishment can take many forms. Sometimes it's the nutrients on your plate, and sometimes it's the joy, memory, and connection happening all around it. Let's dive into the podcast. Welcome back to the Plant Powered Collective podcast. I'm Lori Walensky, certified integrative nutrition coach, and the founder of Plant Powered Collective. And today I'm so excited because I'm here with Tina Smagala, who is the owner of Sea Love Estero. And we're going to get into exactly what that is. And I'm so excited because nourishment isn't only what's on the plate, but it's what's around the plate. And she provides a wonderful experiential opportunity to put things around your plate. So Tina, welcome. I'm real so happy that you're here.
Thank you, Lori. I'm so happy to be here.
So the first thing that we always do is I'd like to ask any of our podcast guests a question. It just helps our listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
And starts, opening up the question, the environment a little bit for more conversation.
Okay.
But what's nourishing you both on the plate and off the plate recently?
I love that question. So I'm going to say on the plate is I really enjoy being in Florida because of the warmth. It inspires me, I think, to eat better than when I lived up north and it was cold and I tended to eat heavier, feel good, comfort food that might not be as healthy for you. So I eat a lot of salads and protein smoothies and fruit and vegetables.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then off the plate, I would say trying to get in a daily walk. Again, the sun's taking advantage of the Florida warmth and sunshine in the winter. That to me is a newfound gift because again, I'm from New York and our winters look very different.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm originally from Boston, so I fully
understand. You get it. Right.
And especially right now, I mean, the weather.
Oh, it's been a bad winter. So I'm grateful to be here this year.
For sure. And so do you walk? Where do you walk? Do you walk here
in my neighborhood?
Okay.
In my community.
Okay.
Yes.
Sea Level is located in Estero at Coconut Point Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. But for someone that's never experienced Sea Love, tell us a little bit about what it is. It's a really fun name. And what someone can expect coming here.
All right, sure. So Sea Love is a franchise. So I own one of the franchises in Estero at Coconut Point Mall, as you mentioned. It was founded a few years ago in Kennebunkport, Maine, by a husband and wife team.
Okay.
And
So my neck of the woods.
yes. So by the end of this year, there'll probably be 26 locations across the United States. And we are a coastal inspired gift boutique. And our claim to fame is our scent blending bar, which is behind us, where you can create and pour your own custom scented candle, reed diffuser, or hanging diffuser for your car or closet. And all of the ingredients that we use are clean and non toxic.
And that's something. So we originally met. We're both chamber members, local Greater Fort Myers chamber member,
Yeah.
and we both serve on Women in Business Committee. And so we had an opportunity to meet during a panel of professional business women, along with their husbands, who actually also are their business partners. And they were talking about menopause, which I thought they were so vulnerable and so and it was such a raw conversation, and it really helped to open up a lot of conversations here in Southwest Florida. But we were talking about your business, and I thought, because a lot of times candles can be endocrine disruptors and hormone disruptors.
Yes.
And what you offer is so far different than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about, just the type of wax that you use and things like that?
Sure. So whether you're coming here to create your own custom scented candle at the candle bar, or you're buying one of the Sea Love signature scents that's made at our headquarters in Kennebunkport, Maine, one of the signature scented candles, everything is clean. And what I mean by that is we use 100% US grown soy wax. And we use 100% cotton wick. So there's no lead or zinc wires in the cotton wick. And then all of the fragrances that you either choose from to create your custom scent, or again, that are already in the candles pre-made, are they have no harmful chemicals, phthalates, or hormone disruptors.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic, because I love candles, but then you start reading about them and I think, oh, goodness.
Yes.
So I'm glad locally I found somewhere now where I can come and buy some really nice candles.
Yes, thank
And
you.
tell me a little bit about, so behind us is,
That's the scent blending bar where you make your candle.
can you walk us through what someone could expect coming here? And then
Sure.
who actually does come here and make the candles? I would assume that it's families, and what a great opportunity, not only for people that live here like myself, to bring friends and family and, and things like that, but even people that are visiting here. It's a nice, break from going to the beach every day.
Yes. It's a wonderful gathering spot for friends and family and loved ones. So we say fun for all ages, 5 to 105.
Oh, I love
So
that.
my youngest candle maker was 3.
Oh, wow.
And I believe I've had a couple grandma and grandpa. Well, their mom helped them. But they made what we like to call a gourmand candle, so like a foodie candle. So the kids love to make a s'more candle because we have dark chocolate, toasted marshmallow, and honey graham. So it smells like a s'more. So kids like that, or they tend to gravitate towards the fruity smells.
Sure.
So strawberry, watermelon,
Yeah.
peach. So like a fruity smoothie or icy. So we have people that come in for solo time that are just looking to kind of escape the pressures of everyday life and just want some quiet time. And then we have corporate groups where we have 18 people sitting at the bar together, creating together, sharing laughs. We have date nights. We have ladies' night out, girls' day. Yeah. So really, it's people everyone enjoys it.
Sure.
So, and no one's miserable when they're making a candle, right?
Exactly. Because it's something that they can bring home and then almost bring that experience back with them and remember.
Yes. It's all, it isn't just about the candle creation. It's about making memories.
Well, and I was going to say, so in lifestyle medicine, which is also what I coach in, one of those very real lifestyle medicine pillars is connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so the connection
Yes.
that you have with people and, and you're really helping to facilitate all of that. And we
Yes.
know from, peer reviewed science, like
Mm-hmm.
National Institutes of Health have done so many studies and they're peer reviewed, that social connection can help prevent um, and improve chronic diseases,
Yes.
and so,
Yes.
and the fact that what you're also offering is super clean.
Yes.
So tell me
Yes.
what someone would do when they come here. Cause this
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
super fun.
Absolutely.
I love it looks so,
So what's back there? Those are the wax melters. So that's the soy wax
okay.
is in there. But the first thing that people do is they pick out a vessel from our vessel wall. So we have 3 different sizes of candle vessels and price points. So the price for the experience is all dependent upon the size of the candle vessel that you pick out, starting at $42. They can also pick out a reed diffuser vessel if they prefer to make a flameless option.
Sure.
Perfect for the bathroom or an office, anywhere somebody doesn't want a flame and they just want to set it and forget about it and have that continuous scent experience. So they pick out their vessel and then they come to the scent wall. They pick out 3 scents. We have over 100 scents to choose from, and so they pick out 3 to create their
Wow.
custom blend. We do have scent inspiration cards to fuel some ideas for them. And of course, after a year that I've been doing this along with my team, we're pretty good at recommending scents that go well together. Most people can get 2 scents and then they say, well, what do you think goes with this?
Sure.
And I'll ask them questions like, do you want to warm it up? Do you want to brighten it up? Do you want to freshen it up? Do you want to go more floral? Do you want to go woody? Do you want to go aquatic? So I can ask them questions and really help them narrow down to their 3 choices. And then they come over to the scent blending bar. They create labels for their candles so they can name their candle and decorate their label. So it feels very personal to them. And we like to say, it's time to get crafty. We give them markers and colored pencils if they want. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people are like, oh, I just love my vessel the way it is. And I don't want to put a label on it. That's fine. We're very flexible. And then they literally set the wick in their candle vessel. And again, they blend their scent. So you and I could pick the same 3 scents and our candles could smell very different just based on the proportions of the oils of that you use. And then they pour that into the vessel. We give them the hot wax. They pour in the hot wax. They stir, they set the wick, and then after 2 hours, the candle is ready to go.
I love that so much. And, earlier you might have seen me looking back here because behind the camera and the camera angle are all the scents. And I mean, yeah, there's so many. I was surprised to see how many.
Right. I know. At first, people are a little overwhelmed, but we explain they're in alphabetical order and we explain some ideas for how to choose scent.
Sure.
So you can choose scent just based on what you like. Some people say, I like flowers, or I like woodsy scent, or I like gourmand scents. So then we can steer them. Or some people pick scents just based on how they want to feel. When they light their candle, if they want to feel invigorated, I recommend more of the citrus scents and aquatic scents and the green scents. So it's very fresh, energizing, and uplifting. Or some people will pick scents to evoke a memory. So scent is very personal. It's also very memorable, both good and bad, right? We know what we like and what we don't like.
Absolutely.
So, for example, I made a candle for my mother for Mother's Day, and I put lilac in it because it reminded me of when we used to go to the Lilac Festival in Rochester, where I'm from.
That's nice.
So,
I had lilacs growing up in my yard, and it was always
so
such a
wonderful, right?
right. And it was and it was just such a short period of time. It seemed like but every year I would look forward to that. Yeah, it really, you're right. It brings up a memory.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I mix lilac with suntan lotion and champagne because my mom likes prosecco.
Love that. And I love that it's clean. Like,
Yes, it's clean. It's clean.
fantastic. So, tell me, a little bit about why did it matter that, I mean, I'm sure that there are maybe, other franchises that you might have been interested in,
Hmm.
but tell me why this one was particularly of interest to you. Why was it intentional? The way that you chose it?
Oh yes, very. Well, I wanted to I thought it would be fun to do something with candles and
Mhm.
candle making because during the pandemic, I worked remotely and I would light a candle every day in my office and just the ambiance of the flame and the scent, it just put me in a good frame of mind
Right.
for starting the day of work and getting through it, right? So I knew I loved candles and then I really wanted to have a place where people were happy and joyful. I had spent over 3 decades in corporate HR, and people were pretty miserable,
Mhm.
and it just, um, I just wanted to be someplace. I wanted to curate someplace positive, and again, where people would be happy. And then when I started researching candles and really understanding the difference between clean and not clean candles, I knew that that was really important to me because, certainly environmental issues.
Sure.
So traditional candles are made with paraffin wax, which is a byproduct of petroleum. Petroleum is basically gasoline. So there's a lot of soot, toxic.
Right, right.
um,
They're
hormone
disruptors, like
disruptors, and yeah.
they
So
the mitochondria, which are the little things in your cells that make your body function,
yes,
is disrupted and
yes.
actually harmed. So yeah,
Yeah, so I knew,
Sure.
and for people that have respiratory
Yes,
issues, asthma, lung disease, allergies, I just knew that having clean candles was important to me.
yeah, for sure. Um, Tell me, I want to go back to uh, the experience that you provide here.
Hmm.
Uh, could you tell our listeners a little bit about maybe one memorable experience, and particularly, with connection of people?
Oh my gosh, wow, there are so many. Where where to start? The young man who came in one day all by himself and his dog had passed away and he made a candle in honor of his dog to give to his girlfriend. They shared the dog together and it was just so meaningful and so unexpected,
Right.
right? But he was very comforted by the fact that he could create a candle with scents that were reminiscent of things that his dog liked. So, like fresh cut grass, earth, which is basically dirt. You wouldn't think a candle with an earth scent would smell good, but actually it grounds it and it smells really good.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right. And then the dog loved cookies. So he blended a little sugar cookie in that too, and then made a label in honor of his dog. So that just really stayed with me because in that moment, it just brought him so much joy to create this candle in honor of the memory of his dog. And then he was giving it to his loved one, his girlfriend. And then um, the um, the woman who came in one day right after she got engaged, and she was, with her friends and fiance, and they created celebratory candles to mark their engagement and future wedding. Right, such a in contrast to the young man, honoring his furry family member that had passed on to, a celebration of, a future wedding.
That's really beautiful.
I mean, really, it is. And then even Valentine's Day. So of course, it was one of our busiest days of the year, and of course, lots of couples. But the day started with a family. It started with a family, and I remember it. They were sitting right over there, and there was a grandmother and a grandfather. Definitely.
Oh, so generations of family.
Generations of family. Yes. I mean, they were definitely in their 80s. And then their kids, so there were brothers and sisters, and then there were younger children. So you had the grandchildren, aunts, uncles, and I think there was about 8 of them. And so that's how Valentine's Day started, with that experience. And I just love that because, again, we so often think of Valentine's Day as couples, right? But it's really about celebrating love amongst family members and also, amongst friends. So that really struck me. And again, that was unexpected. So I love those. I just love those surprises. And then the last one, just last week, I had a young girl. She's 6 years old, and it was her second time coming to see love. The first time she had come with her mother, and this time she brought her mom and her dad back. And the pride that she had in being able to tell her dad how to make a candle. Because again, she was just so proud that she did it before. So then she wanted to explain it to him. And I just thought it was so cute. She was just beaming the whole time. And then when they were done, she says, "Mom, for my play date next Saturday, can we come back again?"
I love that.
The mom said, "Well, probably not next weekend, but we'll definitely come back another time." But just that, 6-year-olds, they can be into screen time already. So
Sure,
the fact
absolutely.
that she could come here and have that experience with her parents and just, beaming with pride and confidence,
Yes.
right? That she made this,
Absolutely.
this
And then she can
candle.
bring it home and they can continue to have,
enjoy it.
right?
Yes.
And they create
Yes.
that memory and it's
Yes.
that connection again.
Yes.
I mean, what a pillar of lifestyle
Yes.
that you have here that you're creating. And, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. The last one, I promise, is
Oh, no, I love hearing
is the
this.
homeschool children. So the kids who are homeschooled come in,
Sure.
and this is a science project and an art project for
I
them.
love that. Yes.
Yes. So, we talk about the science of candle making, and we also talk about
Oh, sure.
it being creative and artistic.
Absolutely.
Right?
And we'll tell you that, yep, I fully get that. My kids were not homeschooled. They went to, a school. However, we baked, and that's the way that they learned fractions and all sorts of,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that what a wonderful opportunity.
It's very heartwarming for me and really brings me a lot of joy.
Let's go back go back now to your corporate life because you sort of went from corporate life to franchise owner and with the mission to bring joy to people. Did you have anyone that was like, "What are you doing? You're crazy. Why aren't you just staying the path?"
Yes. So, my former team, they were extremely, and former boss and colleagues were extremely supportive of my decision to make this transition. And I'll say a little bit more about that later on. But there were certainly some people who thought you should just retire full time. Okay. You don't really need to do this. Why would you do that? you should just retire. And fortunately, I would say that was just a few people. Most people were very supportive, including my husband, my parents, my brothers, my closest friends. Very supportive, very encouraging. And that's why they are in my support circle, right? Because they've always supported me with anything I've ever done. This is not my first go at entrepreneurship. I ran a consulting business for leadership and employee development training for 12 years. I started that when I was 27 years old. So that was really crazy. Most people would not become a consultant and go out on their own at 27. So my friends and family are pretty used to me doing things a little bit unconventional and unexpected, because they know that it fuels me for whatever reason. I think I'm just wired to be an entrepreneur. I come from an entrepreneurial family. My mother had a retail store. Both my brothers are business owners. My husband owns his business. So I have, again, entrepreneurial roots and family.
You moved to Florida to
Yes.
retire, or some form of retirement.
Well, I moved to Florida to truly start Sea Love. So I've been coming to this area for over 20 years because my parents have been here seasonally.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I got
So, and then during the pandemic, when we could work remotely, I got a taste of being here for 3 or 4 months during the winter. And once I got that taste, I was like, I don't want to spend the harsh winters in New York. Wasn't good for me physically or mentally to not be able to get out of the house and take walks. And again, I did not eat healthy either. Also, I wanted to spend more time with my parents. So I had to figure out a plan to do something here that would enable me to be here more than just a few months out of the year. And so I wanted to do my own thing. I could have gone into consulting for leadership and employee development, but I just wanted to do something different. I really always had this vision of owning a boutique by the sea. So here I am.
Right? Isn't that important to follow maybe one of your original dreams?
It is. I just
I always say that I manifested what I'm doing now when I was 12. And even though I didn't understand that it was manifesting, it was in my backyard, like laying on the grass, looking up at the clouds and daydreaming.
Yes.
And now finally at 61, I'm doing it.
Yes. And I too am 61. And I would say I'm in the final chapter of my career. And so I wanted to be very, the word you used, intentional and purposeful about how I crafted this final chapter. And I just always wanted to be my own boss and shape and control my own destiny. And I've always enjoyed teaching and inspiring others. In 6th grade, my teacher said to my mom during my parent-teacher conference, well, I'm teaching at the front of the room and Tina's teaching in the back of the room. So to your point about manifesting, I don't even think I knew I was manifesting, but I was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so even though I'm not in corporate leadership and employee development, I'm still teaching here because I'm teaching people how to do the scent blending and how to make, how to become a candle maker.
Right. And how to do that joyfully.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that you want to do that. So for the woman listening now, sitting at her desk, thinking that she may want to do something else or dreaming about something else, whether it's dreaming, manifesting, what you call it. What would you say to her?
Well, I would say, don't give up on your dreams, and you're never too old to write a new chapter. And, really do your due diligence and make sure that the timing is right. Because I think, it's an old saying, maybe, I don't know, was it Oprah who said, you can have everything in life, just not at the same time, right? So, I mean, clearly, I would not be able to have a boutique like this and be raising my children at the same time.
Sure.
It just wouldn't, with the hours, it wouldn't be possible. But I never, it was way in the back of my head. I never gave up on that. And then, again, I knew I wanted to spend more time in Florida. So I just had to keep thinking and figure it out. So don't give up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
And find those supporters, there's going to be naysayers. There always are. When I was 27, started the consulting business, my current boss at the time said, Tina, you're so courageous.
oh, well, and especially,
But it was
then,
very
now that,
patronizing,
well, I was just
right?
going to say, and especially now, and thank you for sharing your age with me, but
Mhm.
especially that,
Mhm.
I remember those
Mhm.
days, and it's much different from nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I worked
Exactly.
for a really progressive company. I worked for American Express when I was,
Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
I loved them. So great company to work for.
Yeah.
And still, I would understand that kind of conversation of, you know, maybe from some bosses to think that maybe it was maybe not the most safest thing to do.
Right.
Yeah. Just trying to
Exactly.
think of the
It
right word.
definitely was not. It definitely was not
Yeah.
safe. But progress always involves an element
Absolutely.
of risk.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
that's what makes it exciting too.
Absolutely. What's your favorite scent now?
Oh well, I'm gonna say I love on the scent wall. I love suntan lotion. Again, it's so unexpected to have suntan lotion in a candle, and it literally smells like copper tone suntan lotion, which again, on its own, you wouldn't want a whole candle that smells like that.
Right.
But when you mix it in with other scents, it just warms it up and evokes, being at the beach.
Right, exactly. Which
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but living in Florida, my partner and I were just at the beach yesterday.
Yeah.
We went, like late afternoon so that we were there and then enjoyed the sunset.
Yes.
But I was thinking, because I did put on some suntan lotion, I was thinking, wow, I forgot like just how many memories it evoked and like that kind of
Yes.
that joy. And then also that, why don't we do this more often?
Right. Right.
I live like I live near the airport. So I live,
Okay.
30 minutes from
Yeah.
from the beach. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, why don't I do this more often? And I don't. But that smell of suntan
Takes you
lotion,
there.
exactly.
there.
Just it brought all of those things back,
Yes.
and yeah,
Yes.
it's just yeah. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd want to tell people about sea love or yourself? Um, I just love how you are nourishing people off of the plate and around the plate.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. Also, of course, on the plate, but around the plate as well.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd want to share that maybe I didn't ask?
I think the only other thing I'll share, I'll be very vulnerable now. Just in the spirit of again, maybe helping others that aren't sure, should they go for it.
Yeah.
So during my transition from corporate life to opening the store, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so that was really, unexpected. And it was the second time that I had endured lymphoma. And yeah, it was scary because I thought, uh-oh, am I not going to be able to do Sea Love?
Right.
But actually, it turned out to be very therapeutic having Sea Love to work on because I could do all my business planning. And I literally found this location in the midst of going through, I was going through my treatments in New York, but my husband and I flew down here to look at the space. And so it gave me, just gave me something to look forward to and fight for.
Sure.
Because there were days when when you have chemotherapy, you're pretty sick.
Yeah.
And so this this was just a real savior for me, and yet scary at the same time too. But I just share that because, again, the road can be very bumpy.
Yes. Yes.
But don't give up,
And do those things that are scary.
Yeah,
I always
yes,
talk
face
about,
your
like,
fears.
jumping in the deep end,
Yes,
at the
yes,
pool,
yes,
and
yes.
with sometimes without a life preserver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I had wanted to open up at the end of 2024.
Okay.
Because of the cancer, it pushed my opening to March of 2025, but just, a few months. So not that big a deal in the scheme of things, right? So
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
only other thing I would share, just in case there's somebody else out there going through cancer. It's just so prevalent now.
Yes.
And it's, it's not a showstopper, right? It's just, it's a road, it's a bump in the road,
Thank you
but it's
so
not a
much.
showstopper.
I really appreciate you being that vulnerable with this and sharing it. I mean,
Sure. I
it's
hope it
such a
helps somebody
personal.
else that's listening.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that it will. I'm sure that it will.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
I appreciate you being on the podcast. It's so good to get to know you a little bit more.
Yes, such a pleasure to get to know you too. So let's go smell that suntan
Yeah,
lotion.
let's go. All right, good. Let's go. As we close today's conversation, I want to reflect on something that Tina is doing so beautifully. She is nourishing boldly through clean, non-toxic products that respect the environment we live in, through experiences that bring people together, through moments where friends, families gather and create something with their own hands and leave with more than just a candle. They leave with a memory. That kind of nourishment matters because true well-being is not just what we eat. It's also the spaces we create, the air that we breathe, and the connections that we nurture and the joy we allow in our lives. Tina is showing us when we choose clean products, meaningful experiences, and community, we are supporting a life where we can truly live vibrantly. If you are in Southwest Florida, I encourage you to visit Sea Love at Coconut Point and experience the scent blending bar for yourself. And if you are curious about adding more plants to your plate and more intention to your lifestyle, I invite you to join Plant Powered Collective Community. It is a welcoming space for people who are curious about plant-powered living and building habits that support long-term health and vitality. You can join us through the link in the show notes. And if today's conversation nourished you in a way that nourished me, share this episode with someone in your life who might enjoy it too. Until next time, keep nourishing your body, your mind, and your environment. Nourish boldly and live vibrantly.